You're focusing on the wrong things. You're worried if the tires have enough air in them. Meanwhile, you don't have any gas in the tank of your car because you forgot to take it to the gas station.
Your analogies are so good. That's the misinformation piece that we're talking about.
Is this going to be a hard inquiry or a soft? Stop it. Stop it, as you will see for the glitch gurus who have our free download, and for those of you who wish to purchase our guidebook about credit, you will see that my opinion is there is entirely too much of a focus on credit score. What you really want to look at is credit history. Welcome to Biz Glitch number 125. It's May 4th, 2024. There's a lot of numbers going on here, and I almost confused it and said 124 from May 5th, but it's not. It's 125 from May 4th, and we're talking about something that Linda Ray tells me is near and dear to my heart.
This glitch is in the credit score category. Now, why I have a credit score category, I don't know, because there's only a few select glitches about credit score.
Out of the 366.
Out of 366. Yeah. And I think the reason is because, number one, of your expertise. Number two, the extremely heart and soul crushing misinformation that's out there about credit.
That you all believe.
Yeah, that you believe that's wrong. But before I forget, and for those that don't watch the full videos, one of the actual items is the Glitch Gurus get a free ebook that is usually $27. It is an ebook that Trevor wrote about rebuilding credit after either bankruptcy or the pandemic, but it relies on general practices as well.
Well, the guidebook that I wrote arose out of a conversation I had literally right here in this room, in this office, not long before the pandemic started. One of our old business networking friends back in Westchester County, New York, had a problem with his business closing and filing a bankruptcy. And I coached him through the bankruptcy in terms of rebuilding his credit. And the information, the advice I gave him was developed into this guidebook. Now, the thing I want to say about it is don't be put off by the title that rebuilding credit after bankruptcy, rebuilding credit after the pandemic. All of my, what I call the Trevor method fundamentals about credit, which work. I have seen them work hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Because I've read thousands and thousands of credit reports over a 30-plus year career. These strategies work, and that's why when you read them, you'll say, but the people out on the internet say that's something different. I know. That's why I'm telling you. What they tell you is wrong, and you can use this guidebook even if you not have a bankruptcy, even if you're not recovering. Just basics, fundamentals about good credit.
The other thing that is soul-crushing is hearing from business owners who found us too late and said, oh, yeah, I paid that person $1,500 to repair my credit. So this is why we're doing this project.
That goes back to conversations I would have. I'd be sitting in the Bronx in the back of a real estate office at 9:30 at night with a young couple trying to buy a house, and I have them sign the authorization form, and I run the credit report on my laptop, and the laptop starts smoking because the credit is so bad.
Yeah.
And I would say to them, I'm so sorry, I can't. You have a 540 credit score.
Yeah.
That's not possible. We paid this law firm, this company, and they showed us the credit report, and it was all removed. And that is why you will hear me and us say frequently and often, credit repair, credit restoration is a complete scam.
Okay, let's get to today's glitch, which is how does credit score impact or affect your business?
All right.
Take it away.
So there's a couple of elements here I want to talk about. Is your personal credit score and the business credit profile. Let me start with that one first, because there's a lot of bad information and lack of information about a credit report, or really what we would call a credit profile for your business entity. So if it's ABC Widgets Incorporated, do you have a credit profile? The classic method is what's called a D&B, or a Dun & Bradstreet. And in fact, you can register with Dun & Bradstreet and have them create a credit profile for you, which hopefully a lender would use in the future to determine if they want to lend money to your business. But there are some problems with that, which we're not going to go into today. So let's talk about the personal credit score. This probably has a much bigger impact if you are applying for financing for your business than a credit profile for your business. Mm-hmm. The reason being, in the absence of many businesses, most businesses, they actually don't have credit profiles with Dun & Bradstreet or the other agencies. Therefore, the lenders require personal credit scores First thing I'll tell you is if you have multiple owners of your business, the lender is going to look at the lowest credit score out of all of the owners.
No benefit of the doubt there.
And you cannot overcome this challenge to say, but I have a 705 credit score and my business partner has a 682. If the lender's criteria say that 682 is too low, that's what they're going with.
Yeah.
Second thing is credit history. As a former lender, yeah, credit scores are there, but really I want to read the entire credit report to understand who this person is and the character of this person and the character of their credit profile to determine their ability to repay the loan that they're asking me to make.
This prompts a question for you. If someone maybe just they ran into a tough time and that is why they paid this credit repair person. It sounds like, though, would they be in a catch-22 that they had bad credit but they're trying to rebuild, but you're looking at history versus the score. You see what I'm saying?
So there's a lot of different concepts actually in that very short statement that Linda made. First of all, life happens. And I've said to Linda many times in our 9 years together,
almost 10.
Give me 2 minutes with a credit report and I can tell you the character of the person that we're talking about. You can see on a credit report the life challenges that people have gone through. Divorces, job losses, illnesses, car accidents. You can see these business failures. You can see these things on their credit report. You can also see the misinformation that's out there where people don't take the appropriate actions on their own, which are so simple to do, which is why you don't really need to pay credit restoration knuckleheads. The other element is if you've got bad credit, those issues have to be dealt with.
Yes.
In
they don't
the
magically
proper
disappear.
way. They cannot be removed. They cannot be disputed off of your credit report. They've got to be dealt with. In other words, if you have a cell phone bill that was a charge-off and it was really a cell phone bill in your account, you got to settle it and get it done and get it reported by that creditor onto your report so that you can begin to move on past that. Because the further into the past that this stuff goes, the better your chances of improving your credit with the good credit that you have today. And as that builds its own history.
I want to clarify something that you just said, just to make sure that you're saying deal with it so that it's done, so that more time can elapse, that it gets pushed back further.
Yeah. And this tends to be the biggest problem I've seen with people with credit challenges. They're not attacking the credit challenges either because they don't have the time, they don't have the intention, they want the shortcut.
Yeah.
They want to hire the scammer who says, I can do it and remove it, and it's not going to remove it. So there's that class of people. There's the other class of people who don't have the resources. If you have been through a life challenge or a business failure and you have bad credit as a result of that, and you do not have the ability to contact those creditors and make payment arrangements, whether you're going to settle for less than full balance or whatever it is you're going to do, here's the biggest problem with those situations. You have a problem with filing bankruptcy. You think it's shameful. And I can't tell you how many times I've read credit reports where I've looked at these types of credit situations and said to people, look, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. And I'm saying the same thing to you and our audience. We're not lawyers, not legal advice. Please consult an attorney to verify this. But you really should consider at this stage, these issues, you cannot overcome these issues with the resources you have. You should hire an attorney and file bankruptcy and give yourself a clean slate.
Yeah.
There's actually
it's temporary too,
there's a
right?
bankruptcy attorney I've been following on Instagram, and she shares all the crazy comments she gets from people like, oh, bankruptcy should never be an option, or it should be the absolute left. No, bankruptcy is there exactly when you're at this situation where you have had a life challenge, a business challenge has impacted your credit in a negative way, and you cannot overcome that by paying those bills.
We saw this during the pandemic with people who were like, you're not going to run my credit, right? It's, yes, we are. And that doesn't impact as much as people think. We have videos on how to write a credit explanation if you are going through trying to get financing and get approved for financing, and credit is coming up and they're questioning it or they're asking you to explain. We have videos, we have workbooks, we have ebooks, we have all kinds of resources.
We've created a lot of good content for you folks based upon my experience. The thing that Linda was just mentioning about where people would say to me, are you going to run my credit? I used to get the same thing as a mortgage banker. Are you going to run my credit? Yeah, yes, of course I'm going to run your credit. You're asking me to lend you $500,000 to buy a house. I'm going to look at your credit to see if you can pay the loan back. I can't tell you, I've got a chest cold, so I'm under the weather, which is why I'm not going to react the normal way I would react, which is to lose my effing mind on this camera right now. Stop worrying about credit inquiries. They are a necessary part of getting credit, building credit. They have almost no impact.
There's tons of resources in the glitch itself, in the email where you received the link to even watch this video. I'm looking away. But
I think this is why you created credit scores as a different category, because it's so dense.
It's so
dense.
And
we spend so much time trying to help you all overcome all of that bad information out there about credit.
125 out.
See you tomorrow. Does that ABC Widgets Incorporated have a credit profile?
You don't have it plugged in. The mics aren't plugged in.
Yes, it is. Oh, shoot.